Back in the den with assistant coach Jake Hamilton. Jake, don't look now. We're cutting this on September 9th. I mean, here we go. We're going headstrong into the season. What's happening with the program at this stage?
Yeah, from a women's standpoint, we've built a great roster. We have some girls that are returning to our team, and then we also have added about 25 girls to our roster. Kind of puts us at about 30 girls for the year, and we've really hit the ground running as far as that goes. We have some great leadership and Nevaeh Leonard and a couple of the returning sophomores that we have, and it's really helped kind of spearhead the entire group, and it's really exciting to watch. Some of these girls step up and be leaders, but also have some young and up-and-coming talent that, in my opinion, is really going to make some noise this year.
Okay, so from year one to year two, I mean, you guys built this from the ground floor. Leadership kind of had to be built along the way. Now you're saying you've got some leadership that's kind of built in here. Does that make it easier for you?
Absolutely, especially when coaches can't be here. Whether we like it or not, the fact of the matter is we're not always here on campus, right? It's great to have eyes everywhere, and just having some leadership that allows the girls to, kind of be able to communicate with one another, and those leaders being able to kind of report back to us, if there's issues or whether it might be things that they liked from the day, whatever the case might be, having that sophomore leadership is almost irreplaceable.
Yeah, peer leadership. I think every good team has to have some of that stuff to begin with. We talked last time we all got together, we talked about the fact that women's wrestling is the fastest growing sport in the world. Do you see that right here at SCC?
Absolutely, no doubt, right? And we saw that in the camp numbers this summer, right? We had 180 girls at our wrestling camp this summer, which is an testament to all the young girls out there that are trying this for the first time, or even the experienced ones that are in it for the memories and just getting better at the sport. It's amazing, right? Yeah. What girls wrestling has been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time is incredible, and I honestly think Nebraska is a little bit ahead of the curve when it comes to growing our numbers, right? I would say we're up towards the front as far as upcoming talent just right here in the state of Nebraska, and at the high school realm and the middle school realm, right? And so it's really cool to watch us grow and progress and be kind of the spearheads of women's wrestling and girls wrestling.
Yeah, these gals, many of them, most of them, they take this extremely seriously. Yeah, they're here to move through, get the 2 years and move through. But while they're here, they're really putting some time in, and they're getting good. I mean, they're taking some time not only to get better on the mat. You guys are also putting a lot of focus on community service. We all recently had some guys out at the Salt Dogs game, and they did a great job with that stuff. And talk a little bit about how you impress upon these athletes to maybe get involved in the community as much as possible.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we already saw that at the Salt Dogs game, we were able to manage about 10 guys came and helped out and helped hand out some gear swag, and even jumped in the mascot uniforms, and the guys had a blast with that, right? And we just wanted to continue to piggyback off that, and we really want to utilize all our avenues when it comes to community service, when it comes to getting out to Lincoln and fundraising as well. And what we've been able to do the past couple of weeks is volunteer our time at the Husker football games, the concession stands. We were just there in Colorado.
What a great game to volunteer at.
Yeah, absolutely. It was electric. The atmosphere was awesome. Our kids did a great job with the concessions. We kind of spread out. I think we brought 50 kids with us.
Oh my gosh!
For
That's
concessions.
3/4 of the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even more. Yeah,
absolutely. So it's been great, right? And the kids really have a good time with it. Even though they're working during the game, they do have the opportunity to kind of straggle away for a minute and catch pieces of the game. Yeah. And I think they've really enjoyed that time, right? Not only for the fundraising or the community service, but it's also a great time to team bond, right? Some of our wrestlers don't know each other quite well enough yet, right? Freshmen still kind of getting their feet wet and learning the sophomores, and it's a great opportunity to kind of hang out with them and talk while they work and really visit and get to know one another. So not only is it a community service event, but it's also a great way for our kids to get to know one another.
Many of these kids don't come from Nebraska either, so what a great way for them to get kind of a flavor of what the Nebraska experience is all about. Get them over there at our cathedral over there at 10th and Vine Street. Jacob, what is your other title? You are also in charge of student activities, is that?
Yep.
How do you juggle this? I mean, student activities, you're trying to find stuff for these kids that are non-athletes to do, yet you're putting the time in to do that. How do you manage to balance all that?
It's really just a time management thing, right? My mornings start off with usually a to-do list. Right here in my phone, I have a to-do list of things that are priorities, and I get to those first, and throughout the day, I tackle them one right after the next, right? Just like we would tell our wrestlers, right? When they're setting goals and things like that, no matter what the difficult situation or obstacle is in front of you, you got to set milestones that you can hit so you can feel like you really accomplished something throughout the day. So a checklist every day is something that I know I do. I know that Terry does as well, and Coach Anthony does as well. So, it's something that keeps us kind of on task because our days are hectic. But we definitely accomplish a lot. It's a lot of late nights. There's sometimes I got to bring my laptop home and continue to work from home. It's just the nature of the beast if you want to be successful, not only just as a coach, but as an employee here at SEC as well.
Absolutely. I was wondering how you guys did all that. Maybe I got notes here, but it's like, okay, pick up a head of lettuce or something stupid. Just dumb stuff. We haven't talked a whole lot of mat talk here. Let's wrap it up with a little bit of that. Where are we at? Is it still open mat? Do you focus on the weight training at this point, or where are we at with keeping the progression going to the first duels of the season?
Yeah, for sure. Right now, our preseason looks a lot like 2 days on the mat, and those are days for our kids to kind of come in and roll around, and then we do 2 days of a lift. Those lifts are structured. They have an agenda to get accomplished every day, and that's kind of where we're at in the preseason up until we hit October. So it's we don't want to crush them right away. We're looking,
long season, right?
We're looking to kind of roll them into the season and get them going and get them used to drills and things that we're expecting in the mat room and on the lifts. That way, when we get further down the road, it should run like a well-oiled machine, right?
Yeah. You had media day here recently, and just looking at the pictures of the sophomores who are coming back, you talk about lifting. Noticeable changes in a lot of these athletes. I mean, I don't know if that's part of the growing up of it all, but wow, what a difference from freshman to sophomore year in several of these women wrestlers for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of kept the lifting schedule through the summer, and we used our communication app to kind of send out and continue to send lifts to them throughout the summer, and there was a lot of buy-in. There was a lot of wrestlers were ready for the next week's lifts and were communicating with us, and then the sophomores came back on campus, and there was some big transformations. Some people that stuck out to me, obviously Nevaeh Leonard, Yvette Vargas, and Trevor Ranke really put some time in the weight room, and you can see a noticeable difference in all three of those wrestlers, and I think that's a testament to them dedicating and buying into the lift and continuing to lift throughout the summer.
Yeah, those freshmen see that too. There you come back to this peer leadership. One other thing, and then I'll cut you loose. The improvements to the locker rooms, that's really pretty swanky. I mean, it's just, you guys are really taking it another step above here. Do you see that across the country in programs of this level? I mean, you guys are really kind of just going for it here.
One of our goals is to make our wrestlers feel like they're a D1 athlete, right? Give them the Division One atmosphere, or the best we can, right? Or mimic it as best we can. Obviously, there's some things that we just can't do, right? But you know, things like the recruiting wall behind us, the locker rooms, those are things we can do, right? And those are things that Division One programs are doing, and we want to treat our athletes like they're valued. And so by adding cool effects to the locker rooms and the recruiting wall and the media days and the flyers and all of the things that kind of have you know, taken off and maybe we've seen on our social media pages, those are things we want to continue to do to not only make our kids feel valued, but also make our incoming recruits really want to come here and be a part of something special.
And you guys really do a really good job on your social media. I mean, that's just another thing I think on your plate there that you got going on. Jake, thanks for your time.
Absolutely.
We won't keep you any longer. We'll get where's Terry today? I mean, how did you draw the short straw?
You know, sometimes I give Terry a hard time, but
is this the payback?
today I'll keep it quiet.
You say, is this the payback? No, it's not like we don't want you in here either, because you and Anthony both do it. It's a team thing.
Absolutely.
And you guys are successful for a reason. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate your time. That's all the time we have now for this edition of The Den. We'll see you next time.